Welcome to Gaga Knits. My name's Anita and I live in South Wales in the UK, and you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Anita Bulb, and show notes can be found in the description box below. Well, this month, February 2021, I was hoping to do something a little bit different and do a sort of mini blog or mini vlog every Tuesday and put it together at the end of the month. So I started off quite well, did the first 2 weeks, and then went a bit pear-shaped. So I didn't do last week's, and now we are on, what are we on? Sunday the 21st of February. So it's not even a Tuesday. And what I thought I would do is just put the 2 vlogs in that I have done, and then just do a little ending and put it up a bit early and stick to my usual monthly podcast. The main reason I wanted to do it was because I had a finished object that I wanted to send off, so I thought, well, I'll show you that and send it off. And I thought, why don't I do a vlog every week? Plus, I now can't remember what I've told you, what I've shown you. It's not as easy as it looks. So a couple of things first. Apologies for my hair. I've cut it again, and it doesn't look too bad when it's straightened, but obviously I haven't straightened it today, and I've been out to do my mum's shopping, and I've also walked the dog, and I got wet twice, and this is what happens. And I'm not going anywhere else today, so I couldn't be bothered to do anything with it, so sorry about that. And what was the other thing? Oh yes, also thank you to anyone who watched and liked my little doll's house tour. It was just a bit of fun. I was watching Dawn from Dawn's Days podcast a little while ago, and she was saying about her doll's house, and I said I would do a little tour. So it was mainly for her and for my grandchildren, my 2 boys, just to see the doll's house, since they can't come over and play with it at the moment. Let's get on, and I will show you the project I wanted to show you so I can send it off. Now, as it was snowing here in Wales a couple of weeks ago, it was very cold, and my 2 grandsons went out to play in the snow. Now, the smallest one, Jack, has had all of the elder grandsons' hats that I've knitted him over the years, and which means the elder grandson, Harry, doesn't have any. And Jodie sent me a picture of them in the snow playing, having such great fun, and Harry's little ears were bright red. He doesn't feel the cold, but as a grandma, I feel he should have a hat. So I found a hat pattern on Ravelry for free. I always like a free pattern, which is this one. And it's Corrine's Knits Grow With Me Beanie. And it's just basically a 2x2 rib, which is great because you can, it's meant to fit many sizes. So I'm going to knit one for Harry and also one for Jack. So this is Harry's one here. You knit it holding 2 strands of 4-ply together, and I've not done that before, so I'm quite happy with that. And there's the little curl at the top, and he has requested a pom-pom because he's a good boy, Harry. He knows a hat should have a pom-pom, unlike his dad, who also wants me to knit him a hat in black, which is not the best colour to knit in the winter and without a pom-pom. And I'm only making it because I love him, otherwise he wouldn't be getting one. So I've got to make a pom-pom, but I have lent Jodie all my pom-pom makers, so I'm going to have to go old school and cut out some cardboard circles and put a pom-pom on it, and then I'm going to send it off tomorrow when I go to work. So basically it's very simple, just a tube, 2x2 rib, like I say, all the way up, and then obviously the decreases on the top. And the yarn I used, because it was 4-ply, because it needed 4-ply, I didn't want to use sock yarn because it can be quite rough. So I got this West Yorkshire Spinners Bo Peep. This is just, I'm not sure which is the colourway on that then. Let's see, I think it must be I think it might be the 834, and so I used that one, and then I used a sort of, so it's light blue, cream and grey, and then I put a grey with it to make that sort of colour, because he's 7 and I didn't want it to look too childish. And then I'm going to knit Jack the same hat, but use a cream and the grey and cream and grey colourway. So I think that will look quite nice for him. So they'll be the same but slightly different, and they'll be the same size, because this hat head thing is meant to be a lady's size, and that his little size or age 7 hat fitted nicely on there. I don't think it really is designed for a woman, because when I put hats on it for me, it drowns her, but that's his on there. And I kept everything in my first ever project bag I made, which was out of a pillowcase that belonged to Jodie. She used to have it on her bed when she was a teenager, and I didn't quite understand how you had to sew in the zip to hide all the insides, all the seams, but I've learned how to do that now. But I still like it because it's my first one, and because it was Jodie's pillowcase. And the needles I used were 5mm Knit Pro Nova, and these are the short, the little short needle parts, which were very similar to the 9-inch circulars I'm using for socks now, so I'm getting there with those. So that's the project I want to send off, which is why I wanted to record in the first place today. And I have also finished something else, which is my first square from the Barrett Counterpane, which is the project that I've decided to do to join in with Ellie from Craft House Magic's Craft 20 a day along. And I don't know if I'm doing 20 minutes today, but I'm certainly working on it every day. And you start in the corner. I have showed this before, and you start and you do the bobble section, and you work your way increasing, and then you do a bit of garter there, and these are called wheat ears, and then you just do a bit more garter and some eyelets, and then some more bobbles, and then you do a little bit of lace work, and then back to some bobbles. It's really interesting, and it's not difficult at all, because it's quite repetitive, and you don't do it for long, just enough to remember it, and then you're changing and doing something else. And I'm using Aran weight yarn that was from Poundland or Pound Stretcher, so it's knitting up really quick and big. It's a big square, and I'm going to make a nice big blanket for my living room for the settee. And so today my plan is to make a pom-pom so I can send that hat off to Harry, and to finish my February cross stitch which is this from the Cross Stitcher magazine. This is February, since we're in February, and so far I have done that much. And I was watching Tina from Simply in Stitches, her recent podcast, and she's doing these but putting them in a frame, and she said it was a really quick stitch and it only took her an afternoon, but it takes me ages, so I'm going to work a bit more on that so it's finished by the end of February, which I know it should be ready for the beginning of February, but my videos come out at the end anyway, so it doesn't matter. And next year they'll all be across this tablecloth, and I'm going to put it out all year round. So that's everything I'm working on today. Maybe I'll pop back in later to show you the pom-pom and my progress on my cross stitch. See you later. Well, I've done a bit of progress, but I've got to go down and make tea now, so I'll see you next week. It's Tuesday the 9th of February today, and it's a nice sunny day. I was hoping for snow. We had a bit of snow yesterday, which was my birthday, the 8th of February. So I now officially have had a COVID birthday, or is that what they call them? I did my mum's shopping yesterday for her, so I could see her on my birthday, but I couldn't see anyone else. I WhatsApp videoed my dad and stepmum, and also did the same with Jodie, Matthew and the boys, and they sang happy birthday to me. And I chatted to a couple of people on the phone, and I had some cards and presents, so it wasn't too bad. But it's not, well, we're all just fed up with this now, aren't we? Hoping or longing for it all to be over. I did have some crafty gifts off Martin, mainly because I chose them. I wanted a certain book, and he's also got me some yarn, and I wanted to show you two of the birthday cards I got, because I have this one from my lovely friend Paula, who I work with and who also comes on crafty adventures with me, and I just love that. That is, I would say that's Paula, because that's nearly purple. And one of those is me. That's going to have to be that one, because I like green, and that can be our friend Annalise, because before COVID we used to all meet up at my house on a Thursday night and have a knit and natter, just like those ladies. That's just what we look like. So I am looking forward to when we can do that again. And also my dad and stepmom sent me this card, and the thing I like about this card is that sewing machine there. I'm going to have it, obviously not that exact one, but my grandma, for her 21st birthday, her parents bought her a sewing machine, a singer sewing machine just like that. My dad has it, and he said he's going to just give it a service because it still works and I can have it. So it's going to be so nice to have my grandma's sewing machine, and I've never used one of those. I think they only just do straight stitch, but I'm really looking forward to giving it a go. Now, the presents I had that were crafty was this book, Wild Colour by Jenny Dean. And the reason I wanted this is because I want to have a go at dyeing yarn, not to sell or start a business or anything, just to have a little go. And I quite like the idea of using natural things, plants and flowers, and just things in nature that you can find. I'm a little bit daunted because when I read, I thought it would be quite basic. You wouldn't need many things to get going. And apparently you need quite a lot. And also, as you know, we're having building work being done at the moment, and yes, they are still here. And I was thinking I could use the new worktop out in the utility room because there'll be a sink there and everything, but I'm a bit worried that things might splash and stain. Is it a good idea to use a new area, or does it make a lot of mess? If you are a dyer or you have dyed yarn, could you please give me some tips? And also, as I asked Martin to get that book for me for my birthday, I ordered some undyed yarn to give it a go. There's 13 skeins in here, platinum sock minis, and it's 75 superwash merino and 25% nylon, and they are 20 grams each. So I thought I'd have a go at dyeing those up. And the company I bought these from are from the UK, and they ethically source the yarn, and they also, how they treat the yarn is environmentally friendly, because I hadn't thought of any of those things. And I will put all links to them and everything in the show notes and up probably on the screen. So I'm looking forward to having a go at that. But I'm not going to be able to do that until the workmen are finished. Now they are coming today. It's quite early today. It's 5 to 9. So I thought I'd pop on first before anything happens. I need to do our food shopping today, but been waiting for the builders to come, get them organised, then I can go, because Martin's working from home so he can't deal with them. And I think we're having new doors today, so that's exciting. It has taken longer than we expected because we had a couple of days delay because of the snow, and every time anything is being ordered, like the doors or the sink, everything seems to take 2 weeks to come. So it'll be nice when it's finished. I might put a few photos in just so that you can see progress so far. We've had a lot of plastering done. They keep putting my washing machine, plugging it in for me and taking it, unplugging it, because that's the only thing really I need. The house is upside down, stuff everywhere. It is getting a bit on my nerves. Never mind. This week I have been working on a new hat for Harry. I sent him the hat that I made out of the pattern. Is it in here? This was a free pattern on Ravelry from Corrine's Knits, Grow with Me Beanie. So I made him that, and I made it to the length and everything stated, and it does fit him, and it's plenty wide enough. It's not really long enough for him to have a nice turn up, as he's 7, nearly 8, and it fits Jack, who's 2, really well. So Jack, who has a mountain of hats already, has another one. He does look really cute in it. So I promised I'd make the same hat again for Harry because he liked it, but make it a bit longer. And then, so I was going to make his in the West Yorkshire Spinners Bo Peep. The other two, well, this was the same colourway and this was the one I was going to do for Jack. But I started knitting it up. I thought it looked a little bit babyish for him. Now this, I have discovered, this colourway is 834 and it's called Splash Time. And it's actually pale blue, cream and pale lilac, not grey. I think it just on the screen when I was ordering it looked grey. And this is colourway 011 and it is called To the Fairy. So, and this is 4-ply, and I thought being baby yarn it would be acrylic, but it is actually Falklands wool and nylon. Can't really see. Oh, there we are. 52% Falklands wool and 48% nylon. And it doesn't feel that soft, but when you're knitting it, when it's running through your fingers, it does feel lovely and soft. But so I'm not knitting him in it that. I'm not knitting Harry's jumper. I'm not knitting Harry's hat in that anyway. I am using this bright royal blue yarn, which is 100% acrylic, and it was just in my stash, and it's Mariner double knit. You can't really see, it's a bit dark, but you can pick up from Shaw's, which is a shop in Britain, but you can't pick it up now because they're all shut. So this is double knitting, so instead of holding the 4-ply 2 strands together, I'm just knitting it in the double knit, and I'm doing the same amount of stitches, and I'm just going to make it longer. So that shouldn't take me very long. That's nice and easy because it's just knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2 all the way around. And the other thing I thought I'd do this year is my crocheted blanket that's usually on the back of here is here. And obviously I put all my scraps in it, which makes it really colourful and nice. But what I decided to do this year is I've put a little stitch marker, which is a lovely little cupcake that I had as a gift from Eva from Coco and Flora. That is to mark the beginning of the year. Now every time I do a 4-ply project and I have some scraps this year, I'm going to put it in my blanket So I've already started this green line, this green row here, green and brown, are the socks that I was making at the beginning of the year, which were just plain vanilla socks, but I wanted to try and get the fit right. I have finished them, but I've lent Paula, my friend from work, one of my socks because she is making her first pair of socks and she's doing cuff down, and she's really enjoyed knitting in the round, and she's got to the heel. She's a bit scared doing the heel because it's a bit confusing. So I've lent her a sock so she can see the general construction. I did try and explain a little bit in work how to do it, but because we can't really get together or anything, she's just going to have a go on her own. So come on, Paula, I want my sock back. So that's the bit of sock yarn I had left. Because it was a stripy yarn, I had to wind some off so that they would be the same, so the stripes would match up. So I put that in there. And then I've put a row of the grey, the Bo Peep grey, which is called Tin Man, and then a row of the, oh, what did I call that now? Splash Time. So there's 3 rows already. I mean, they weren't scraps. I just knitted them off the ball that was left, but I just think that would be a nice little reminder of what I've knitted through this year in my crocheted memory stripe blanket. That's what I'm going to call that. And the hook that I'm using is a size 4. This is really nice. I bought this in Wonderwool one year from a stall. I don't know who it was from. It's sort of glittery polymer clay, and they've pressed it there so that it's really quite comfortable to hold. It's only one of the cheap hooks, and Martin's also made me one of these, using this as inspiration because he made me a polymer clay one with, I think it was blue with white spots. So that's basically what I've been doing this week. I did cut out pattern pieces to make another Minetta dress, and I've extended the bodice and the skirt a little bit to, I've got a shop bought dress that fits me quite nicely and I like the length, so I sort of measured that and I've tweaked the pattern a bit. And I had some fabric in mind. I was going to have a go at doing that today, but when I pulled the fabric out, I think I've only got half a metre. Why? I thought, I just bought it so long ago and I thought I had enough for the dress, but I must have bought it for a sweatshirt or something. So I put that back away. I don't really know what I'm going to do today. Don't know how busy I'm going to be with the workmen. So I have been working on some hats, and I have finished another one for Harry that I put a picture in of, that now is a little bit too big. The first one was too small, this one a little bit too big, and I'm now knitting one for Matthew in the black yarn that he has requested, and it's just Stylecraft Special Aran, and the colourway is 1002, which is black, and it's basically the same as the boys' hats. It's just a little 2x2 rib, and it's called 2x2 by Anne G. Free pattern. So I'm working on that, and it's in a very fancy poly pocket. I'm using DPNs. Sorry for the bustling. I'm using Knit Pro Zing's 4mm, and the stitches I've just got enough. They kind of slip off the ends of the needles a bit, so they're not quite really long enough, these DPNs. But I'm going to persevere and get that finished. It's a bit boring knitting that, especially as I've already done 2 children's hats in 2x2 rib. I'm also still ploughing on with my lace cardigan, I am on the first sleeve, so I'm not even on sleeve, well, can you be on Sleeve Island on the first sleeve, or is it the second? So I've done that much. And it's easy enough. You've got to increase every 14th row, I think. It's just I'm really bored of knitting the same pattern. I've done the whole of the back, I've done the 2 sides, and now I'm doing a sleeve. And it's 4-ply, and I'm a bit bored. Plus, I know there's a jumper I want to start, but I'm scared to start it because I'll just leave this, and because it's a lacy pattern and I've got used to it, if I leave it for too long I won't know where I am, and I really need to finish it, so I'm trying my best to finish that. I forgot to say, I've also been working on my Barrett Counterpane. I've done 2 pattern squares, and I've decided to do a plain knit square in between. Can't see what you're seeing. Because I just think that will break it up a bit. It'll be too busy if you just have all patterned ones. And I've sewn them together this morning. And that project is to join in with Ellie from Craft House Magic's make along. She's got a year-long make along, and I shall try and link her video to that as well if you fancy joining in. And it's where her make along is based on working on a project for a little bit of time every single day until you get it done. So a large project, work on it a little bit at a time. That suits me, I quite like that. Oh, so that was the one I was forgotten. I've also got 2 sewing projects that I plan to start to join in with Karen from Stitches and Jack's make along. I'll put the hashtag here because it's quite long. And the ones I decided to do, it's her Mal. If you go over onto her channel, her YouTube channel, she'll explain all about it, and I will link the video below this video. And basically any kits or things like that you've had for a while and haven't done, or I think maybe even if you've started them a little bit, you can still join in and get them finished. So it's to encourage us to finish the kits that we've bought in the past. So the one of the projects I'm going to do is this, that my cousin Nikki gave me when she came to visit from Canada several years ago now. So I've cut out all the little bits for the largest mouse. So I'm going to start on that. And another project I wanted to do was this little bear with the embroidery from a very old Molly Makes magazine. I had a subscription for a year a while back, and I don't like many of the projects. I find them a little bit childish, and when I do come to do them, sometimes they're a bit faffy and they don't come together very well. But I want to have a practice of all these different embroidery stitches. So I shall make that. And the only other thing we were doing, which I thought might be a little idea for any of you, if you're missing your family and you like gardening, we started a new tradition last year where we have a sunflower competition. It just started off really, Martin and I and Jodie and Matthew were going to grow some sunflowers. We were going to grow some, and then Jodie and Matthew were going to grow some with the boys, and we'd see how ours got on, and we would measure them to see who grew the tallest sunflower. And then Matthew's sisters joined in with Harry and Jack's cousins, and then Matthew's mum, and then his auntie and his cousin. So we all do it now, and last year we grew them, and Matthew's sister Sarah won, or her little boy Lucas, and we found a nice big pebble, and Martin painted a sunflower on it, and that's our sort of trophy. So they got the first trophy. And this year Martin and Harry have designed a little poster, so I'm going to photocopy that and send it out to the members of the family who are joining in with our sunflower competition. And this year, to make it a little bit fairer, I've bought all the sunflowers off of Amazon. They were only 99p, and these are Ideal for Kids tallest sunflower Grow Your Own World's Tallest Sunflower. So I'm going to send those out to the different people in the group, and we've got a little WhatsApp group, so we put little posts on there, and it's just a bit of fun, and we can't get together anyway, so it's just a little bit of fun, and maybe it's something you might consider doing with your family or friends, just as a little bit of a joke. What do you think of these glasses? £1 in the pound shop. I still haven't been to the opticians. I'm overdue a visit. I should go, and I will go, but just not yet. So anyway, I will put my first 2 weeks vlogs at the beginning of this video. And like I say, the intention was to do one every week through February, and mainly because I wanted to send my finished object off. So that's what I discussed at the very beginning of the first vlog. I remember that. I hope you've all had a nice few weeks, and thank you for watching, and see you all in my normal layout next month. Bye for now.